Hey y'all, welcome back to another Life in Grandeur video. I didn't see this video coming. I didn't see this video coming at all. If you've never seen me before, my name is Shayla Monique. I'm just doing a bunch of content right now about me rebuilding my life after just a couple of crazy years that included divorce and losing a job and restructuring my business and just a lot of loss and a lot of strife and a lot of feeling like Job in the Bible. And yeah, today I'm going to tell you the story of how God blessed me with a car this past Sunday. You gave me something new that I never dreamed of. Yeah, I've seen so many videos like this over the years of just watching like how God has blessed other people. I've seen videos where like, oh, God blessed me with a house, God blessed me with a car, God gave me this, God gave me that. And I've watched some of them and just been like, okay, that's really amazing for you. And it sounds like something that I would love to believe that God would do for me, but like I just don't see enough parallels in what I'm experiencing and what you're experiencing to think that this is something that is tangible for me. And so we're gonna go down the road here on how I got from having no car. I live in LA, having no car. I live 25 miles from my job, and getting all the places I need to go in a day without a car has been real tricky. And the timeline between not having a car and praying about it and being blessed with a car, like now that I'm on the opposite side of what I just dealt with, I'm like, okay, God, I see what you did there. I didn't like any of this process at all. I see what you did there though. And yeah, we're gonna talk about this. I've been really like yelling in excitement a lot. So my voice is not happy with me. So I have some, it really should be tea, but it's coffee because it's cold outside, it's rainy, and I don't like rain at all unless I get to be in the house, like under a blanket, snuggled up with my kitty and my kid, and that's not what's happening today. I'm at work. So yeah, I have some coffee and hopefully that wakes my vocal cords up a little bit. So hold please. So my previous vehicle I purchased in 2016. So I knew already with the amount of miles that I have driven over the last 8 years, and just like the dings and other things that have happened, that I was gonna need a new car soon. I think it was at like 282,000 miles. It was a Honda, so Hondas will literally just keep driving until you drive them in the ground. And I just said, I'm gonna drive this thing until the wheels literally fall off. A couple of years ago, my ex-husband was fixing my air conditioning in the car, or attempting to, and did something, I don't know what, and broke the passenger door. So my daughter was hopping in and out of the window for the last 3 school years. The last 3 school years, hopping in and out of the window. And on another video, I'll talk about why I didn't fix it, because it was a point of contention. But that's another topic. My power steering fluid, there was like a leak in the pump, and I had to carry power steering fluid with me at all times because my steering would go in and out. It just leaked. I didn't park in my driveway because it left marks. So thankfully I have a cat, so I was using cat litter to like clear up any areas where I had left power steering fluid behind. When I purchased the car, 3 days after I bought it, the radio stopped working properly, so I never was able to use Bluetooth or aux or the CD. So if it was radio, or I would take my iPad and put it all, like the volume all the way up so I could play whatever music I wanted to in the car, or I just had headphones in. So there were a lot of things over the years that just like my car had been through it, and I in my mind was like, okay, this year when I get my taxes back, I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and get a car. I paid the car off a little bit early, so I haven't had a car note for like the last 6 years, and the idea of a car payment with everything that I'm doing right now, all the things that I'm paying for and trying to cancel out debt, like it just was not, a car payment was not in the budget. And so I had written in my prayer journal all of the things that I wanted in a vehicle. Some of the kinds of cars that I would say like are my ideal car. And, you know, periodically I would just look at it and pray over it and be like, all right, God, you know what I want. You also know what I need. So do it. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm trying so hard to trust you because you see what we're going through. And so last summer, something happened where my car started driving really wonky, and I didn't want to drive it because it was like shaking like really bad, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's wrong with this car, but I can't. So I driven it to a mechanic. That mechanic told me that like my front axle, what he said was, your front axle is gone and there's some other things that are wrong with the car, blah blah. And I was just like, okay, that means that I'm not going to be able to continue to drive this car. So I had put it up on Facebook Marketplace, trying to sell it for a couple $100. And then I had gone like maybe a week and a half after I had stopped driving it, and the car like stopped turning on. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I had planned to either sell it on Facebook Marketplace or sell it to like a we buy your junk car type of place. I had so many messages on Facebook Marketplace that I was overwhelmed. It was like 800 messages, and I was like, oh, okay, no. And so I had asked my husband at the time, like, can you please like just ask your friend who owns this garage, like, can you please just have him come out to the house and take a look at the car, because I just feel like I need a second opinion. And it took months to convince him to get this man to come out. So he finally came and he looked at it, and it was just a problem with the tires. I went to the tire shop around the corner. I spent $100 on 2 used tires, and I was able to drive my car for, that was last June. So they got me through the summer, got me all the way to the end of this past year. And I was like, all you had to do, like, it was like 2 months where I wasn't driving this car, and I was taking Ubers and Lyfts, and he lent me his car for a time, and that was a whole thing because we were separated at the time. And it was just like, oh God, you have me going through like the most to just get to work and get her to school and do what we got to do. I don't want to be doing all of this to just get from point A to point B. Like, help me afford a car, because this is a lot. And so fast forward, I moved further away from where we go to school and when we go to work, just because it was an affordable option, and I really needed a place to move, and even God opened the door for the place where we live now. So we moved into this new place, and a month after I moved there, I got laid off from my second part-time job teaching. And I was not expecting it. I literally went to go teach class, and the owner of the school that I was working for was like, hey, we're changing some things up and I'm gonna have to lay you off. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't see that coming, wasn't expecting it at all. I need this money. And so because of the fact that I lost that job, I closed my brick and mortar studio for my esthetician business. And I think I talked about that before in this Divorce is Not Giving Grandeur video. So if you haven't seen that, go back, take a look at it. I talk about some of the things that I'm like skipping here because they're not really relevant to this story. But anyway, so a lot of things changed for me financially, and I was like, now it's gonna be even harder for me to get a new car. And so I was like, I just got to make it until like March when I get these taxes back. Like, God, like I was having days where like my car wasn't turning on. I was having days where I was just like, yeah, we can't drive it today. We're going to have to take a Lyft. So there was a whole bunch of things that were going on that just were not giving what I needed it to give. And the whole time I was just like, God, what's the answer here? Like, my credit is still in the rebuilding process. My finances are looking like they look. Like, there's no way me on my own can do this. So like, whatever you got to do to get it done, like, now is good. See, there was just too much going on. So we're going to fast forward to December. December comes, first week of December, my daughter and I are on the 405 freeway, literally about to get over to get into the exit lane to go home, and my car shuts off. Like, lights out, everything off. I don't even have any power in my car to put on hazards, and we're in traffic on the 405. So I'm like quietly freaking out. I'm like, what the hell is going on with my car? So I'm like, all right, God, like, just get us off this freeway. So thankfully my car just kind of like coasts over into the shoulder. We're safe. My phone was charging at the time. And so I have like, I don't know, I think my car was on like, my phone was on like 12%. So I was just like, okay, my phone is charging. I need to call AAA or something. And I actually wasn't sure if my AAA membership was active at the time. So I called my dad. I'm like, please get AAA to us. So I explained to him where we are. We called AAA. AAA's on their way. I think I had my iPad with me, so my iPad had enough power. So like, if you need to talk to me, you're gonna have to FaceTime me. And the kid has her phone. Like, we're just gonna have to hope. So AAA finally gets there to me. My phone dies as soon as he gets there. So I'm glad that happened. Tow me home. There's a mechanic around the corner from my house. So the next day I had to have the car towed to the mechanic around the corner. The mechanic tells me that the pole that holds the hood up when you're putting the power steering fluid into the car touched my battery while I was driving, and it shorted out the car. So that was a pretty simple fix. Less than $200. And I was like, all right, cool. So recharge my battery, yada, yada, yada. 2 weeks later, my car started, at the time he's telling me like, oh, your serpentine belt and the tensioner need to be replaced soon. And I was like, bro, I can't afford it. So it's going to have to hold on to the end of the month. He's like, I don't know if that's going to work. I'm like, okay. So 2 weeks later, I'm driving to work. I'm on the off ramp and I'm like, I feel like I smell rubber. And I hope it's not that belt, but I don't have time to deal with that today. So like, God, whatever it is, not today. So, my car is like loud. So I call my dad. I'm like, yo, my car is really loud. Like, it's driving really, really loud. And I don't know if it's the belt, but I feel like that's probably what it is. So my dad's like, all right, we'll take it. We'll worry about this later. So I'm on my way driving home, and I'm starting to see smoke coming from the hood of my car. And I was like, I know you're lying. Like, I know this is not what is happening. So, long story short, the serpentine belt broke on the freeway, and I had to drive it a little longer to get within the 7-mile radius for AAA. And so my car overheated. It was terrible. I really thought my car was going to explode, and I ended up waiting 4 hours for AAA to come. They never came. So I had to have somebody come get me. I had to leave my car where it was overnight. I had to go back the next day, have the car towed to the mechanic. And then a couple days later, he's like, yeah, so I was able to fix the belt, replace your tensioner and the belt. However, you have a cylinder that's misfiring. So like, it's not really safe to drive. And I was just like, great. Okay. So he ends up having to keep the car overnight, keeps the car overnight. He calls me back in the morning. He's like, you must be praying or something. I'm like, yeah, I always am. And he's like, okay, because your engine stopped misfiring. And I was like, oh, period. Like, this is exactly what I needed to hear. The car's not misfiring anymore. Everything's gonna be fine. He's like, yeah, you can come get it. So I go get the car. At this point, it's December 23rd. I have a doctor's appointment that I have to go to, a physical that they had, like I was supposed to go the month before and then they needed to postpone it or whatever. So I'm like, I'm on my way to the doctor. It's about to be Christmas. I'm going to spend the week with my family. Like, I got to do what I got to do. I drive 10 miles after we paid $650 to get that serpentine belt and the tensioner replaced and fixed, and my car starts misfiring again. I'm on the 405, just passing the 10. Okay, I'm not even anywhere near the 101. So I call the mechanic and I'm like, here's what's going on. And he was like, honestly, I don't think you should put any more money into this car. It's an older car. You've driven a lot of miles on it. At this point, unless you're going to drop a new engine in here, like, it's not worth it to figure out what's wrong with it and why the cylinder is misfiring. I'm like, okay, bro. So I have to drive all the way to where I gotta go with my hazards on, with my car varying between like 60 miles, 40 miles, 13 miles, 44 miles. Like, I'm on the freeway, okay? And I'm like, I don't have tinted windows. I'm in this fishbowl. Everybody's looking at me like, girl, why are you on the freeway? And I'm like, I just have to get to where I'm going. I'm so sorry. So the car ended up just like not being fixable. Car wasn't fixable. And I'm like, all right, God, like, now I'm out of a car. I am, all of like the Christmas school break, I just stayed at my family's house. So I'm like, I need to have an answer for this by the time my daughter goes back to school, like the first week of January. That's not what happened. So all of January and the last half of December, I'm taking Uber, I'm taking Lyft, I'm asking my family for rides when I'm in the area. I live like an hour away from where most of my family lives. So it's like they can't help us get from point A to point B. I'm spending over $100 a day on Lyft rides, Uber rides. I'm ordering groceries because I can't get up the street to go to the grocery store and then bring all of our stuff there back to the house. And I'm just like, Lord, I don't make enough money to be doing all this. To this day, I don't even know how I had the funds to be able to pay rent, pay our phone bills, get everywhere we needed to go, groceries, like all of that. I'm just like, the math never mathed. The math never mathed, and God made sure we didn't not have anything. Yeah, like the way that worked out, I'm still just like, wow, I see how, like, all the while I knew God was doing something, but I'm praying. I fasted all of January. I'm still fasting from some things. I just felt like God was saying, like, you need to continue to like extend certain parts of your fast. Like, we have some other things that we need to work on, and I'm cool with that. So I'm just like, all right, here we go. So all of this is a lot of backstory. Here's the good part. So if you waited here to the good part, you're smart. Here's how we get to where I got the car. So on Sunday morning, I'm in the car with my sister. We're going to church. And I'm looking at my account and I'm like, I'm going to be real transparent with y'all. Whoever feels like they can't be transparent on the internet, whatever, like, I'm going to tell the story how it happened, because that's where the glory is going to come from. Okay. So I'm on my way to church. I'm looking at my account. I'm like, all right, God, my sister has an EV. I'm paying to charge her car. I'm like, all right, God, I got $54 in my checking account. The money that's in my savings account has to go to rent. I can't touch that. There's no way I'm going to be able to even get us into the valley tomorrow to get to school and work. Unless you send me a client I don't know is coming or whatever. I had to turn 3 clients away for Grammys weekend because I couldn't get to them. So I'm like, I already said no to some bookings. I'm trying to make my money make sense. I'm not spending any money on anything extra. Like, I literally cannot do this another day, God. Like, you have seen me being faithful. You know I'm praying. You know I'm fasting. You know my baby is praying about this. Like, what? I don't know how you're going to do it, but like, God, I literally cannot do this another day. This is me having a silent conversation with God in the car on the way to church. My sister don't even know what's going on. Little do I know, she knows what's about to happen. I have no idea. She knew the night before. Crazy. My sister can't hold water, and she kept this for me. Wild. So we go to church. They're doing praise and worship, and the woman who came to do praise and worship for us that day, her name is Doe Jones. She's a really beautiful artist. And so she's praying and she's talking about like, God, give these people strategy. Like if you're really going through something and you don't think that it's going to work, like we're praying that God is going to give you the strategy. So I'm like, all right, God, like give me the strategy. Like, 2 + 2 has been equaling 5. Like, I don't know how it's going to get to 4, but like, give me the strategy. Like help me make it make sense. And so our pastor gets up and she's like, I'm not ready to preach yet, but she starts talking about how like, we are a church that's community. We take care of one another. And she was just saying like, there's somebody here that's been praying and fasting and, really believing in God for a car. Now I'm sitting in the front row and I'm like, I know she's not talking about me. I've been at this church for 15 years. I've seen them give away 17 cars. Ain't none of them cars ever been for me. So I'm not thinking it's going to be me. So I'm like, all right, God, like, let me just prepare myself to, give thanks to you for whoever is about to give this car. Like, let me just go ahead and celebrate with them, whoever it is. So I'm sitting here, I'm opening my green juice. And she's like, we've given away 23 cars in the 21 years that we've been a church, and today we're about to give away car 24. Shayla, come up here and get what? I had the whole Beyonce like. I almost spit my juice out. What do you mean, me? She just said my name. What are you talking about? I'm bawling. I can't even barely make it up the stairs to get onto the stage. I'm screaming hallelujah. I'm jumping. I'm about to go teach a makeup class after church for the women's ministry, and I'm crying my whole entire face off. What are you talking about? Sidebar, Celestia Beauty sent me this Cobra package last year. That mascara that was in there, baby, did not streak my face at all. So, yeah, thank you. Because I fully expected that I was going to look like a hot mess, and wow. She puts the keys in my hand and she whispers in my ear like, God has seen your faithfulness. And I'm just like, wow. I don't even know what kind of car it is at this point. I saw some Volkswagen. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm thinking we got some little Jetta, a little old Passat. I'm thinking it's, a little 2009 something. I don't know. I don't care. It's not Lyft and it's not Uber. That's all I care about at this point. I don't know what's going on. So I get in, I sit in my seat. I'm trying to like gather myself, and I go into the bathroom and I see a lady who was like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Because when she said it was you, I heard God say, this is how she's going to know that I hear her. This is how she's going to know that I've seen what she's been going through, and I've been with her the whole way. And that's what I needed to hear, because in my prayer time, I've been like, God, you see everything that I'm going through from like last year. Honestly, since the door broke, right? You've seen everything that's been happening, and I can't operate like this. And it's not just about me not having a car. I feel like I'm not in a position to provide for my daughter correctly. I'm not in a position to do my job effectively. I'm not in a position to help anybody else because I'm in a place where I can't move. And I know you're telling me to be still, but like, can you tell me something else? Like, hello, do you not hear me crying? Do you not see me stressed out? Do you not see me trying to figure out, like, do I buy dinner or do I pay for the Lyft tomorrow? Like, hello, are you seeing me here? Are you hearing me every day? I know you're probably tired of me praying about the same thing. Like, did you just tune me out? Like, what's going on here? That was the message that I really needed to hear, that God hears me and has been with me every step of the way and has seen everything that I've been doing, and that it's not in vain. And so I got through all of these 20 plus minutes to get to that point. The car is beautiful. It's everything that I said I needed on my list. It's a sedan. I was driving a coupe. We need 4 doors. It has a huge trunk. I carry a lot of things around. And I can put everything I needed. I have Bluetooth. I've never had Bluetooth in a car before. I turn my music on as soon as I got out that church parking lot. It has tinted windows. I didn't have tinted windows before. Like I said, I felt like I was in a fishbowl. I have a sunroof. I love a sunroof, and I needed that. Like, it's in pristine condition. They handed the car was already in my name. They handed me the title right there. And when I saw the title and when I saw the family who donated the car, I already love those people so much. But for them to not know what's been going on, and for the car to come from them, like, God is so intentional. And I looked at the paper of when the deacon from my church had gotten the car and taken it to the mechanic. Like, that was January 30th. So 3 days before I even got the car, 3 days before I even got the car, God was preparing the car for me. I had no idea. January 30th, I'm still riding around in my Lyft, paying $60+ one way. I had no idea, and God was already working it out for me. God was already preparing it for me. And I've been asking, like, God, prepare me for the blessing while you are preparing it for me. I'm looking at it happening in real time. Hello? Wow. Like, this is such a light bulb moment for me. I really feel like it's a life-changing blessing, because I've been feeling like, with the divorce, like, God has taken the favor off of my life. And that's why I've been going through all this stuff. And I've been, restructuring my business. And it was really, really, really slow last year on the real estate front and on the aesthetics front. And so I've just been like, what's going on? And then, y'all know, the state of America. I don't know what's about to happen. But I feel like, I feel a sense of protection. I feel a sense of, like, I could do anything in this moment because I know God is with me. And I think I always feel like God is with me on some level. Sometimes I feel like He's just watching. But this season now, I really feel like He's with me. He's right here. Like, I don't have to look behind me to be like, are you still there? He's right here, right on my side. Like, it's a different feeling when you know God is right here with you. And so if you are somebody who has been in a season where it has just been kicking your entire behind, and you're like, God, what is happening here? There's no way. There's no way. I really hope that this encouraged you, because it really encouraged me. And again, I know that God didn't bless me just for me. Everything that I've been going through in this season, I really wanted to document and share, because I know that a lot of us just need encouragement and need to be able to see that God is still doing things for others, and that we just have to wait our turn. And in the waiting period, like, our heart posture and the way that we wait is really what matters. I have been trying to keep my positivity. I have been praying. I have been reading my word. I have been, not doing stuff I know I'm not supposed to be doing, and doing things I am supposed to be doing, and really purposing and focusing on that, because I don't, not just because I want Him to bless me, but because I don't want it to be my own fault that I'm continuing to, like, I don't want to be walking around for the next 40 years being like, oh, I could have been out of here a lot earlier. Oh, my bad. Like, I don't want that to be my story. So again, if this encouraged you, and I really hope that it did, that it's been 3 days, and I'm still just like, I have a car. This is my car. This is nice. This is you. It's nice. I don't have no roaches or nothing in here. Like, it's so nice, and it's literally everything that I needed. It's not exactly what I asked for, like, on the list that I wrote. It's not a BMW X6, and that's okay. God knew exactly what I needed, and what I could manage and what I can handle. And I don't have a car payment. I don't have a car payment. I don't have a car payment. It's mine already. Free. I'm about to start crying again. I don't have to pay nothing. I mean, I had to register the car, but that's it. That's it. Yeah. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you made it all the way through this video, you're smart. And I really pray that God lavishes his love and favor and blessings on you in the way that he did for me in that moment. Because, wow. Yeah. That's this week's video. Thanks for watching. And if it did bless you, please share it with somebody else who needs a message of encouragement. Because, baby, it's just a time out here. It's not a great one. But it's I feel like it might be getting better. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.